$12. She's like, go get a massage. I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah, right.
Restart the whole thing.
Hey, Joey.
Hey,
One
Joey.
second. I will. That's weird. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here and share my screen. Good morning, everybody. Again, so sorry to start you off late. I had a little problem with my email, right? I mean my computer getting started. Wrong way to go. All right, let's presentation format. All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna go over the 6 personal perspectives today. Some of you I see on the call have taken this class before and understand the value of. Can everybody hear me? Okay, Tim, could you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I can't hear you. Okay, so let's do that. Boom. Got it. All right. Everybody can hear me. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So what is the difference between those who achieve at the highest level and those who don't accomplish or don't seem to accomplish as much? Does anybody have an answer for that?
Well, I mean, I know this course is about mindset, but it clearly it's got to be at least partly your own thoughts, your own behaviors around your own thoughts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else?
Discipline, self-discipline.
Sure. Absolutely. All of those things come into perspective, come into play when you are striving for success. Anyone else? I have this one here. Sorry, guys. I intended to be more organized about this particular experience, but I don't see. I'm having a hard time. All right. So, like Tim said, and I'm not quite sure who the other person was, it's mindset, it's attitude, and discipline comes in to that as well as your approach to life. Give me one more second here. I promise you that I will be. Let me just get this printed out for my own.
I'm going to take the stage for a second, Joey. My daughter Ava is gathering personal hygiene items for women to bring over to the Alexandria house for the holidays. So if anybody has any or would like to donate to this effort, you can just leave whatever products you have at the office, and I will pick them up and give them to her.
The manual. Did you get that in a minute? It's still printing. That's a great cause. Alexandria House is a great cause, number one. And
Yeah,
number
and they had
two
a
is
fire.
they had a fire.
They had a fire. One of their 2 houses went on fire last year. So, 4 families are at a Airbnb, and the other house is still there, but they could really use some help. They have 7 families all together, and they can always use things.
Oh, and I could use getting rid of some of the collection of a hotel grooming products that have accumulated in my house over the last years.
Oh, please. They said that they could really use lotion, soaps, any sort of personal hygiene item. So maybe I'll bring a box to the office, and if anybody can, help Ava out.
We have a whole drawer full.
Okay. Yeah. Chris loves
never gets used.
Thank you, Star. That is so sweet of your daughter to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it the same place that everything's going to? I just dropped off a bunch of toys to Laura. Is it the same thing?
No. Alexandria's house is a place that Presley and Ava went to when they were Girl Scouts, and they learned about what they do there. And it just, has always just been on Ava's mind to help when she could. So
that's so nice. That is really, really nice.
St. Brendan's school is also very involved with Alexandria House. So my grandson is involved in fundraising and different events for Alexandria House. It's
excellent.
a great cause.
Yeah, they're lovely people over there. So thanks, guys.
Excellent.
When should we drop that items?
Anytime up until, I would say, like anytime until Christmas. We'll make sure that they get them. Thanks, Joseph.
My pleasure.
No, it's going to be my pleasure because I get to get rid of all that stuff. All right, so defining the 6 personal perspectives. Number 1 is commitment to self-mastery. I'm going to nail it. I'm going to master this, okay? Number 2 is commitment to the 80-20 rule, one of my favorites. I'm going to focus on my big rocks, the most important activities that will drive me to my goal. Number 3, did I say that last one was my favorite? This one is my favorite. Understanding the path from entrepreneurial to purposeful is key in breaking through limitations that are, that are market imposed or self-imposed, right? And number 4 is being learning based the foundation of your action. I will be taught. I will always pursue learning. The key to being learning based is probably one of the keys to breaking through in the E to P equation for sure. And it's also at the core of understanding what to do with those big rocks once you've identified them and are moving to move them out of the way. Again, limiting beliefs. Remove your limiting beliefs. I unlimit my thinking and my success by unlimiting your thinking and putting, for any of us who have children, you have to believe that anything is possible for them, right? That they can achieve anything that they put their minds and efforts towards. It's that concept never goes away, guys, right? We become jaded and there's a lot of fog that gets in the way and the limiting beliefs become more complex. But in actuality, I know it's an oversimplification, but in actuality, you can still do anything you want. You just have to have a plan. You have to be focused on that plan. You have to get the education necessary to execute that plan. And you have to be accountable to your plan. It's mine. I own it. Okay. So these are the 6 personal perspectives. The class is over, go home. No, not at all. We're going to go deeper in all of these. And they are, I think I said this in the office meeting. I use one or several of these in solving every problem in my business and in your business when it comes up. I look to these principles to find a logical path to my goal and to your goal. So you understanding them and you participating in them is, I think.
Joey, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but in the chat, we're all noticing we can't see the full screen. Like on the last slide, we only could see to number 4.
It's weird. All right.
Yeah, and now this one, we can't see the full screen either. So
Okay,
can you
let's
go back?
let's figure that out.
Thank you.
I see a border here. You just see the number 4. All right, let's escape. Let's stop screen sharing. Stop the share. And let's look behind this to make sure that I have everything. That looks good, right? All right, now let's try and share again. Boom, boom, boom. You guys can't see this, right?
You're not sharing right now, I don't think.
Yeah, all we see are the little squares of all of us right now.
All right. I'm sorry, my share thing is not popping up. Oh, there it goes. All right, here we go. Share.
You got it green.
Share. Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Well, wait, I would like to make it full screen. Let's try to make it full screen. Does that doesn't work?
No, it worked better how you had it before.
All right. So we will go back to that. Okay. Some way. Let's go like this. I think I got it.
Excellent.
Boom.
Yeah.
What's that?
Perfect.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right. Where are we? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. All right. How would you change? What would you do that you are waiting to get done because you think you will be here forever? What 3 things would you like to accomplish in your life? Okay, so take just a second while I run and get the paperwork that I printed out. And what 3 and think about what 3 things, write them down. What 3 things would you like to accomplish in your life? In any area of your life, in every area of your life. All right, somebody volunteer to tell me what they wrote down. Just jump right in there.
I'll go. I'll give you one, Joey.
Come on.
Financial stability.
Financial stability. That's I bet you that's on a bunch of people's list, including my own. Anyone else?
I have published a few books in the past, but I've got 2 or 3 that are not yet published that I would like to get published, not just self-published.
Wow, Jim, that's impressive. Who knew that you're like an onion. You keep just revealing yourself. All right, anyone else?
I have hike all the national parks.
Hike all the national parks. How far are you in that process?
I'm probably at like 12.
12 out of how many? I don't even know.
I know, right? Like I gotta make a map.
I think there's probably,
Obviously, I need the financial stability to be able to do all this.
right? I think that's at least a 3-digit number.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So high achievers all have reality mindsets, right? That is, the first thing that they do is recognize where they are and proactively take action based on that reality. Okay. We have to measure our lives. We have to measure our businesses. We have to see where we are, what we've achieved, what we want to achieve, and what is the gap between what we have achieved and what we would like to achieve. And how do we formulate a plan? The next is to formulate a plan to a roadmap to that goal. So without this reality check, many people are under the delusion that they are farther along than they actually are. With a good reality check, they can calibrate the tools and resources they will need to achieve their goal. So it's just like our clients, who say, oh, I want to buy in a year. And they start that process a year later, and they find out that their finances aren't necessarily where they want to be, or their savings, or their credit score, or something, something more personal, right? We have to take the temperature. We have to know the cliche, I guess, is how could you know, how do you know how to get where you want to go if you don't know where you are, right? We have to establish a baseline of where we are in our lives, and to find the correct path forward, right? With a sound reality check, we can calibrate the tools and the resources that we will need to achieve the goal. So what is your goal? How are you doing with your goal? How do you feel about that? And what will your future look like if you do not achieve your goal? I mean, that's a real, if you do this deep, that's a real great look at what you're trying to achieve. And there might be emotions around it. I think that's why they have that feeling piece in there, is this is going to stir up emotions. You're confronting your goals. You're confronting what you want to accomplish with your life. And so in that, there's probably a little fear, a little excitement, a little bewilderment, and a lot of a lot of drive, right? So we have to find out, what we're trying to achieve, how we're going, how are you doing with your goal? Like, where are you on that path right now? How do you feel about that? And what will your future look like if you do not achieve? It's seeking that pain point, confront that pain point that is attached to your goal, so you can deal with it. Okay. And I think so. Do you guys, if you guys have a little book, does any? All right. So, what are your ahas from just this minor stirring of the pot? Because what we're about to learn, for the sake of doing, which aha resonates with you the most? What action can you take to fold this aha into your life? Okay. I would push you to ask yourself these questions with any of your goals. Anybody have anything stirred up when they ask these questions against their goals? So, when Tracy said, I want to hike all the national parks, my first question is, how many have you done, right? And how many are there, right? What is the goal, and where are you in that in that process? And that was just my natural my natural reflex to her goal. Anyone else have any ahas? in that small part?
Well, Joey, what strikes me with the reality check is, I don't know, sometimes you do this exercise and there seems to be the subtext that your life's going to be utterly tragic, if you don't achieve your goal. But to me, it's like, it won't necessarily be tragic, might still even be a pretty nice life, but it's just, missing, um, that
Punctuation.
extra, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh, yeah, no, I like yours better. Actually, I said punctuation, but it is extra. It is something more. And I think,
Yeah.
For us, meaning, let's characterize ourselves as people who are over the middle of their lives, right? I mean, we're on the other side of, we've lived a considerable amount of our lives, and we understand that perspective, that you can have a great life, right? And you can, more importantly, I think what you typify is that that we're still participating at a high level. We still have desires, we still have goals, but we are also very, very happy with what we have accomplished so far, right? And because, so, but we still want to achieve more, and I think that it becomes more refined over time too. And I don't know about you, but I feel more capable over time, right? So for people in different parts of the life journey, I would definitely look to people who have gone further in life in this group specifically, because we're engaged in trying to be better and to grow and to achieve more, no matter where we are on the timeline, right? Anyone else? All right, let's get into self-mastery. Commitment to self-mastery. Self-mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you, okay? When you commit to achieving self-mastery, you know your goals, you know your strengths and weaknesses, and know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to reach your goals, okay? High achievers understand that before they can pursue mastery of any endeavor they choose to undertake, they must commit to pursuing a baseline of self-mastery that, once attained, will allow them to master other things outside themselves. It's for you new people, you're trying to achieve a baseline. For new agents, you're trying to, you know nothing about real estate. You're coming in, you're learning, you're absorbing, you're watching, you're doing everything you can to achieve a baseline of self-mastery, right? It's not I learn every day, right? So don't get hung up on knowing everything you need to know. What get to a baseline of understanding, and then move on to refining and developing skills at a higher level, right? You don't need to know everything to do business. What you need to know is where to get the information. You have a support community all of us use, right? Every achiever that I know understands that they don't know everything, and that what they need to know is that they're is easily attained through their trusted resources. Boom. Okay. So mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make one a master of a subject. Okay. Oh, there you go. And it's a journey, not an event. If has anyone read Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell? I don't know why I want to.
Mhm.
It's a great book that allows you. In the book Outliers, it has a little paragraph about it here. Malcolm Gladwell claims that the key to mastery in any field is roughly 10,000 hours of practice. Okay, according to research, practice is more critical to success than ambition, intelligence, or natural talent. A commitment to true mastery will not be achieved by taking a class on the subject or even reading a few books about it, but rather by repetitive practice. Okay, in other words, time on task over time will get you to your achievement. Okay, does everybody understand that that whole concept? I've seen plenty of people who didn't understand the process at a high level academically apply themselves and build businesses of great importance in every field you could possibly think of. Okay, the congressmen, the lawyers, the doctors that that were maybe even mediocre in an academic setting, when they're out in the world applying themselves and doing the activities and being committed to the activities over time, reach great levels of success. All right. All right. Let's put the pieces together to achieve self-mastery. The first, we're gonna watch a Bruce Hardy video real quick. I believe that's going to happen. Nope. I believe it's not going to happen now. Let's try it again. Nope. It's supposed to be hot link to it, but of course it is not. Everything comes up. Yeah, that's my day today. Okay, so we're gonna get Bruce Hardy in here. Let's see what we can do. There's that. There's this. There is that. And back to my training. Embedded videos. There's no separate.
Joey, I always love to go back to what you taught us a few years ago. I'll never forget that you're not supposed to know all the answers. You're never going to know all the answers. And there's so much power in saying that you don't know the answer, but that you will find it. And so just going back to what you were saying about, everybody in the office or your peers, colleagues, everywhere, people have answers for you. So you can find those answers for anybody, for your clients. And it's okay to say that I'm not sure, but I will find that out for you. I've always remembered that and use it all the time. So thank you for that.
And it's how you say it, right? It's the conviction to which you say it that really makes the difference. I think it's I think it's like you said, you could be really empowered by that's right.
All right, by saying to somebody, this is, a great question. I don't have the answer. Like, it's all good. We're human. You don't have to have every single answer, and you don't have to be afraid. I was afraid for like 2 years to talk to clients or people because I had so much fear about not knowing. So when you had said that, it was such a huge aha. It's like, I don't have to have every answer. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic.
Well, in that,
But
it also
Star, that's
clears,
important.
clears the way for you to, to be more effective in other ways, right? It's like, okay, let me, I believe I know the answer to that, but I want to check on one thing before I answer that. And so you could put that aside and then move on to solving other problems and being effective in the total of the experience with your clients, right? Can you see this YouTube page? Are you guys seeing this YouTube page? No.
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 Okay.
But
All right.
Star, to jump on that, that's so important, because if you do, especially when you're starting out, if you do pretend or even like try to answer something that you don't know the answer to, you can really get yourself in a lot of trouble. So for any newer agents on this, if you have any glimmer of, I'm not exactly sure, don't be afraid to say, you know what, I think I know, but let me double check. Because saying the wrong thing is worse than saying nothing at all in a lot of these situations.
I agree.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well said.
Agreed. This is our job is, involves contractual agreements. If we lead our clients down a path of understanding that is a disconnect from the contract, then we're going to get in trouble. Okay, no worries. It worries. It happens, and that's what E&O insurance is for. But we want to be don't make the mistake out of vanity, right? Or fear of not knowing. It's okay to set it aside for a second to get the right answer. All right, let me play this Bruce Hart. You can see the screen now, right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Let's see Bruce Hardy real quick.
G'day, I'm Bruce Hardy, and I'm committing to self-mastery. This is one of the main 6 perspectives that I think we all need to focus on, particularly if we want to take our business and our lives to the highest level. When I was younger and lived in Australia, a good friend of mine was a black belt in karate. He invited me to participate in karate, so I joined. I was a white belt. And after about 6 weeks or so, we were one day practicing sparring. And it was interesting because we were throwing a punch, relatively simple, straightforward punch. We both knew how to do it. The idea was that you would throw the punch and you would stop 2 inches from the other person's face. So my friend, the black belt, would do it, and he would snap, his gi would snap, and I had wind hitting me in the face, and it was just beautiful the way he threw it. Then it was my turn, and I got down and I went whack, and I watched my friend fall to the floor because I hit him instead of stopping 2 inches in front of his face. We both knew how to do it. He'd mastered it, I had not. I will tell you, I brought the same approach to my real estate business. I realized my focus had to be on listings. And what I did was, by focusing on my listing presentation, practicing over and over and over again, I was able to list over 250 homes a year. There's a wonderful saying out there, and that is, amateurs practice to get it right, professionals practice to never get it wrong. My question to you, are you an amateur or are you a professional? Commit to self-mastery.
All right. Simple concept that includes the through goal. Love it. All right, let's stop and let's try that again. Oh, no. Okay, let's jump back in. Any ahas on that? All right, so put the pieces together. Oh, I'm gonna go back to this every time. All right, let's put the pieces together. All right, and so the first piece of the puzzle is to identify your goal. Let's say yours is to master prospecting, right? Mastering, right? The next step is to identify your strengths and weaknesses in achieving that goal. So strengths, good with people; weakness, uncomfortable uncomfortable, bringing business, right? Asking for business is really what it is. Uncomfortable for asking for business. Once you're aware of these pieces, you can create a plan to master prospecting. Practice scripts, take bold, call your sphere of influence, right? Start with people that are also, your friends. So in that, by knowing your goal and which is mastering prospecting, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, good with people and uncomfortable asking or bringing up business, and by making a plan, taking bold or practicing scripts and dialogues to work with both, making a plan to work with both, you are well on your way to self-mastery and mastering prospecting. Okay, so now look at, here's a little exercise. List 3 obstacles you think might hinder your achievement of the goal you wrote. And so, and then let's just talk about it for a second. What do you, we can go back to Tim or Eric or Tracy. What are 3 obstacles that might hinder you in achieving your goal? Tracy, what are 3 obstacles that might stand in the way of you hiking every national park?
Well, obviously money is one.
Okay.
Being away from my business would be another. I noticed that in Yosemite. Obviously, anyone's ever been there, your phone drops out the second you drive near it.
Okay.
And a third is physical challenges for myself. Obviously, with MS, one of my things is I want to stay as able-bodied as possible. So I feel like there could possibly be a little bit of a time crunch on it for me. Hopefully not, but that is always in the back of my head.
So then you start to look at, so what can Tracy do to overcome these obstacles?
Well, one of the things I've been trying to implement with my business is, now that I'm doing a lot more production than I have in the past, I'm trying to then use some of the money, not hold it so tightly. I'm trying to hire people that can help me do things that I don't have strength in. Like, I'm trying to find people, and then thus money will get more money. Like, you spend money to make money, basically, I'm trying to do that philosophy to try to help grow my business.
You reinvest in your business.
Exactly.
There you go. Right. It's great. I think that's really, really smart. And not short-sighted at all. And that will also I think reinvesting in your business can take care of 2 of these, because your second one was lack of leverage, really, or free time. So
yeah, exactly.
I can't walk away from my business. But if you reinvest in your business and you create leverage in your business, you absolutely can. And you live in the third one is, hey, you live right down the street from Runyon Canyon, right?
Yeah, that's my backyard.
Right. So, I mean, you can start training yourself physically in a, methodical way to be able to handle maybe some of the more rugged hikes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's my therapy, really. So I do it every night.
Do you every night?
Pretty much. I try to get up there once a day. I can post. It's like I see the sunset every night.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I think that's amazing, Tracy.
Thank you. It keeps me from being murdery.
If that's a word, I understand it.
Hiking and wine have saved my family.
Absolutely. I understand that, Senator. Any other ha-has about self? Anyone? start looking at your life and try to understand in what areas have you achieved or even had the desire to have mastery in, right? And what steps did you take to do that? How far did passion take you, and how and what part did drive take in it, right? To get past those rough spots. All right, go on. Was there somebody who wanted to say something? All right, let's move on to step 2, which is, and guys, if there's something, is the 80-20 principle. If there's something in the chat, let me know, because I can't have everything up at the same time and focus on talking to you guys. So if there's something pertinent in there, please let me know. Commit to 80-20 principle. This is a great awareness piece. There's a pattern of predictable imbalance in life. It is called the 80-20 principle. There is a pattern of predictable imbalance in life. Okay, I love that. So when you are committed to self-mastery and have set your goals for the task and topics you want to master, the 80-20 principle will help you focus your efforts on what's necessary to attain those goals. Okay? So Madison's going to talk about it. Let's pull up Madison to talk about it, because we don't have as much time as I'd like, and I'd like to get through more of this. 1, 2. 80-20. So Madison was my first. That doesn't look like Madison, but Laura. Let's go with this one here.
I'm David Osborne, and I'm committed to the 80-20 rule. When I was a realtor selling in Austin, I found that you could generate more sales by working.
You're not seeing this, are you?
No.
Sorry.
No, we're not seeing it.
Yeah, my technical skills are undesirable.
See, Joey, that's why you hire people to do that part of your job, because your strengths lie other places.
Ed volunteered to sit in on this for me and do it, but I felt bad. How about now? You can see it now, right?
Yes. You're good.
I'm David Osborne, and I'm committed to the 80-20 rule. When I was a realtor selling in Austin, I found that you could generate more sales by working harder. Well, when I moved up to Dallas and opened my first market center in 1997, and then took over 2 failing market centers in 1998, the number of hours I worked was not sustainable for the chores that I had. See, the challenge with how I worked was I treated everything equally. If the computer broke, or if I had an important client or recruit, to me, it was just a task that needed to be done. I started at A and worked my way down to Z every day. But when I moved up to owning offices as an operating partner, I couldn't get to Z. In fact, I could rarely get to M or even E. There was so much to do. So the stress was building on me. I couldn't work any more hours. And eventually I began to take a physical toll from the stress. I was burning out. In fact, I was burning out so badly that I realized that I was not the right one to do the job. So I decided I was going to replace myself. So as I began the process then, looking for someone to replace myself, I started treating the job just as you would when you're going on vacation. By nature, I started doing only the most important things, the 80-20 rule, the top 20%. Well, as soon as I started doing that, 2 things occurred. One is I started having more fun. And 2 is I started to get better results. So once I was having more fun and getting better results, I found my replacement. It was me. I just had to change the way I approach life. So it goes back to goal setting, prioritizing those goals, and then keep focused on the big rocks. I may have 35 goals a year, but I have 5 big that's how I keep my eye on the ball, is just by setting goals and following through on my goals, my dreams, my vision.
All right, guys, big rocks come first. Big rocks come first, right? And you want to focus on those big rocks, because those big rocks are the key to you achieving what you're trying to achieve in your business. Okay.
It's a foundation.
Bing. Lots of moving parts here. All right. Oh, it goes back to that every time. That's not good. All right, I'm gonna did this. All right. Big rocks come first. This principle isn't intuitive. We feel like the more we do, the greater the results we should see. Yet we prioritize what really matters. Yet if we, or when we prioritize what really matters, we will achieve the most. A philosophy professor decided to teach his class a lesson on priorities. He pulled out a jar and added as many big rocks as he could fit. He asked the students if it was full, and they agreed it was. So the professor picked up a box of pebbles and poured them in. He shook the jar lightly, and the pebbles, of course, rolled into the open areas between the rocks. He then asked the students again if the jar was full. Fewer students agreed it was this time. The professor picked up a box of sand and poured it in. Of course, the sand filled up everything else. When he asked the students again if it was full, he heard a few tentative yeses. Before he pulled out a watering can and proceeded to fill the jar to the brim, he looked out at the expectant faces. We can all finally agree this jar is full, right? The students nodded, wondering where he was going with this demonstration. He pulled out another empty jar, identical to the first. More big rocks, more small rocks, more pebbles, more sand, and more water, in reverse order, starting with the water. He asked if he filled the jar with those things, would there be room for any of the other things? All of the students said no. When he got to the big rocks, he exclaimed, "The big rocks must go in first." This jar is symbolic of your life. Everything here represents in priority in your life. The big rocks represent the highest priorities in your life, your list of essential non-negotiables. The others represent smaller and less important priorities in your life. If you spend all your life chasing trivial things that don't matter, you will never achieve your highest priorities. Whatever your highest priorities are, make sure that you make adequate time and space in your life to accomplish them. I mean, if this was the only thing you guys took away from today, I mean, what do you think? How does that story like typify how we deal with things in our lives in general? You know, oftentimes, you know, what represents the water, the sand, the pebbles in our lives? And why aren't we addressing those big rocks first? Those big rocks are the most key pieces to us achieving our goals. And yet we sometimes push them to the rear of the process. Identify your 20%. That's those big rocks. What are those big issues, those big actions, those big problems that need to be solved, which will clear the way for more opportunity? This is a great excerpt from The One Thing, about much to do about nothing, right? So in that, while to-do lists serve as useful collections of our best intentions, they also traumatize us with the trivial. I don't think that's the right word, but unimportant stuff that we feel obligated to get done because it's on our list. Achievers operate differently. They have an eye for the essential pieces of what will get me to my goal, the 20%. Left in its raw state, a simple inventory to-do list can really lead you astray. Just because you're doing doesn't mean you're doing the things that will get you the results, okay? Activity needs to be focused. It needs to be purposeful, right? The first thing on your list is just the first thing you thought of. To-do lists inherently lack the intent of success. Long hours spent checking off on a to-do list and ending the day with a full trash can and clear desk have nothing to do with success. Instead of a to-do list, you need a success list, a list that is purposefully created around extraordinary results. To-do lists tend to be long, success lists are short. One pulls you in all directions, and the other aims you in a specific direction. If your to-do list contains everything, then it is probably taking you everywhere, but where you really want to go. Okay, so the success list is a concept that is brought up in the One Thing. And here you see there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Let's say your goal is to run a marathon. Of all the activities on your to-do list, some will lead to more success than others. And it's the 20% from that success list that will have the most impact. Here you go. You have your running marathon, select a running regime, time blocking schedule, and coordinate with the experienced running partner or coach, right? And in that, you're running a marathon, work on diet plan, work on a hydration plan, select strength program, select a running regime, and find a compatible running group. Those things, and then in that top priority, to run a marathon, you have prioritized each one of these things. First, select a running regime, right? Secondarily, select a strength program. Moving on to find a compatible running group, and work on a diet plan, and then work on a hydration plan, right? And so in that, you see the breakdown of all the different pieces necessary, and they're all prioritized, okay? Tracy could use this for her hiking. Changed a little bit. Oh, sorry. All right, so let's so this is going to be an ongoing class, and this is the first one. We'll do another one next week, but let's get through this exercise so we can get you guys out and finish up the 80-20 piece before we go. So Write your goal from page 13. List as many of the things you can think of that you are doing, that could be doing to make that goal a reality. Create a success list by circling only the tasks that are going to have the most impact on your goal. Be picky. You're looking for the big movers to get you to your goal. And then you can identify the one thing from those top activities, identify the one thing that you could do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary. And what do you think? And then you're going to create a success plan for that. And the success plan is in the form of a 411, right? The 411 is an action worksheet, okay? It is a tool that you can use to keep track of and stay focused on your goals, right? But this is tracking the activities to your goal. The 411 is a reflection of your top priorities, the big rocks, the 20%. It is a list of goals broken down into annual, monthly, and weekly categories. It is designed to help set both long-range goals and short-range goals. Results is the long range, and short-range goals are your activities, right? That bring you results to the fruition of your goal. Right? And here you see, this is the marathon. Set your weekly goals that set your weekly goals that correspond to larger monthly goals. Set your monthly goals that correspond to larger annual goals. Make sure weekly goals are a success list, not a to-do list. And in that, you're focused on those big rocks. Plan weekly goals or activities no more than 1 week in advance to allow you to change in direction if needed. If you feel like your running group is not competitive enough for where you want to be in the process, you might want to change that. If you feel like you need to carve up more on the daily, you might want to adjust that. Take the knowledge from your first week to set your goals for the next week, right? Or next month. Set annual goals that can realistically be accomplished in a 12-month time period, right? And you'll know that when you start to, you might have to adjust that when you start to lay out your plan. Avoid revising your goals set in prior weeks or months to reflect new goals or missed goals, for example.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm downstairs. Okay, I'll be right down.
Oh, all right. Anybody have any questions about the 411 yet? Here's a sample Mega Agent 411. And you can see, job, business, financial. He's got all of his goals here in these 4 categories. He's got broken down into the monthly and then broken down into weekly activities, okay? 24 listings sold, 18 buyers sales, 60 quality listings, 150 listing appointments. And then what does he have to do for the month? He has to have 3 listings a month, 3 listings sold a month, 2 buyers in escrow, 3 buyers contracts closed, 13 listing appointments per month. Lead generate for 3 hours a day, okay? Annual goal broken down into smaller pieces for the month. And now we get into the week, which is, what's he going to do on the week? Well, he's got these broken down. I would have gone a little deeper, but you should go in each of these categories, right? In the job area, he's going to attend 3 listing appointments, close 1 buyer contact, and lead generate for 3 hours a day. Boom. That's how he's going to achieve these. All right. Anything can be broken down, and the 411 is an integral part to understanding what your daily activities should be. You can download a physical copy of the 411 or a digital copy of the 411 if you go to mykw.com or KW Connect and search for the 411. It'll come up. Time blocking, manager 80/20. You know, in the morning call, anybody's on that morning call, you know, time blocking comes up more than any other subject consistently. And then the truth is, here, people think there is never enough time to be successful. But there is when you time block, when you know, so look what we're doing. We're rendering the top 20% of activities. We're creating a plan for it. Now we have to create the space to execute on those plans. And in that, it's time blocking, okay? Time block your 411 and defend that time blocking, right? Let's see, what did I miss here? Anything? You know, it's one thing to grasp a concept like the 80/20 principle. It's another to apply it. Time blocking is the tool that brings this perspective to life and produces tangible, measurable results. Include a story about how you applied. So, you know, point out that the one thing graphics on this page, which I will show you now. Boom, 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 boom. No, it's not. Am I too far ahead of that? Yeah, it's not. They don't show that. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm going in the wrong direction. It's not going backwards. We don't have the graphic. So here are 4 keys to successful time blocking. I don't see them on here, so I'm not going to. Here they go. Be consistent enough to set the habit. Okay, 60 days of doing something consistently will embed that into your brain as a habit, right? Be thoughtful and purposeful about the items you list on your calendar. All right, don't be haphazard. Really understand the connection of your activities to your big rocks. All right, always time block for the big rocks, your top 20% that ensure your success and the success of your business. Do that first. Get it out of the way. Okay, address the big rocks before you address anything else. When you address those big rocks, that will create more space for you to do the rest of the non-essential activities, right? And if you erase, especially those big rocks, if you can't do of which lead generation is, right? So if you can't do your lead generation this morning, if it was, I would argue that you can schedule around this 99% of the time. But, sometimes, I hear that, I had to do, it was the only time that the inspector could show up. It was the only time that my client could show up. Okay, no pushback on that. Do not erase. If you erase those activities, it only puts you further away from your goal. Okay? If you erase, you must replace, especially on that 20%, because you're not cheating anyone but yourself. We just had this, I think I said this in one of our morning calls also. How would you, if you had a plan for everyone that you've hired in your business, and they were skipping this 20%, how would you feel if treat yourself like an employee. How would you feel if an employee, someone you were paying an hourly wage, was skipping over the most essential parts of their job? What patience would you have for that? And how long would they stay employed? All right? Treat yourself like you would an employee. You're paying yourself. Your salary depends on it. Okay? All right. Protect your time. The world doesn't know your purpose and your priorities and isn't responsible for them. You are. Okay? So in that, protect your schedule, protect your time blocking, protect the most essential activities in your business. Build a bunker, store provisions, sweep for mines, enlist support. I love this. So, we used to have this conversation in a different way, and it wasn't connected to the 80-20 principle. And I think that it really is more compelling in this way. So, when you are doing your lead generation, however that is, build a wall around your activities. Don't allow phone calls to interrupt you. Don't allow problems that could be solved, which 99.9% of them can after you're done with your lead generation. Give yourself, if it's your special beverage, if it's airflow, if it's where you're sitting, if it's the situation of your desk and your technology. Make sure that you are protecting your environment, your activities. Sweep for minds. Sweep for minds, I believe what that really is saying is, if there's an impending problem that is going to get involved, your kids' snack time, the only problems I can think of is kid related, right? Your kid coming off in between classes while you're doing it, and needing something. Try to set your kid up in the same manner that you are setting yourself up. Make sure they have snacks and water and everything they need to get them through your important time. And then enlist their support. Make sure that they understand what you're doing. Okay, modeling for your children as an entrepreneur is probably one of the greatest gifts you can give them. When they see you working and your commitment to your goal and your work, that's a lesson that they're learning. Okay, and you can have them understand that. Don't create a barrier between that conversation, because I think that's a gift that you can give your children. Have them understand that you have a set of priorities, what your goal is, what your activities in achieving that goal, and enlist their support in that. Their understanding of that will have them respect your time and energy. Listen, if the kid's got half a finger hanging off, please come and get me, right? But if you can't find the Oreos, then I think if they understood your priorities and the fact that you're in business at this high level and how you do it and what your goal is and how you're attaining that they're going to go the extra mile to figure out where the Oreos are on their own. All right. Any ahas to the 80-20 principle? No one? Youch. 80-20 principle is huge. Sorting through all of, we fill our lives with so much BS and so many meaningless activities, right? That, understand, We wear 20% of our clothes. We really stay in contact with 20% of our friends. There's only so much a human can do. There's only so deep I can look into my closet. It took me 5 minutes to pick out a shirt this morning, and I didn't, and I looked down and there's a big blob of blood on the front of my freshly cleaned shirt, and it sent me for a tailspin, right? I had to go in and spend another 5 minutes looking for a shirt that I wanted to wear today. And still, I'm only looking at, if I was looking at 100% of all my shirts, I would have been in there for a half hour. Luckily, I was looking at the cleanest, most relevant shirts that I have. Any ahas from anybody? We're going to wrap it up here for today and then pick it up with E to P early next week. Anybody? Oops. Ahas?
Really, that kid thing was so true. I don't know about other people, but for me, because I've noticed with Colton, I don't know, obviously you guys didn't hear him, but he had to show his class something over my shoulder while we were doing this. And it is something where, especially if you don't have a lot of space, you have to really block that out. And I did notice that making sure over the weekends I make snacks for him or lunches for him has put such, it really has helped, because that's the main thing. I'm like, when lunchtime would happen, just so happened to be when I was in the depths of work. And it really would sideline me. So you're so right about that. That's the biggest distraction, I think, for a lot of us right now, is being home around people that are pulling at us from all directions.
And I would go to the extent of kind of not getting his buy-in. Like he's part of your team, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're a total team.
Yeah.
We're a perfect triangle. Me, him, and Eddie. We're just a perfect triangle.
And so, but it's your job to let everyone know what you're trying to achieve and what you're doing to achieve it, right? The activities. So sometimes I'm going to be, busy on a call. Sometimes I'm going to be, out of the house. Sometimes, these are all integral parts to your achieving your goal, and they should have buy-in to it. They might even like say, hey, maybe I can help you achieve that. Have them start thinking about how they can help you in your goal, aside from giving you the space to and the respect of that space. Right?
No, that's a great idea. I mean, he does benefit from it after all.
Yeah. But it's also an opportunity to teach him what the day of an entrepreneur looks like, what the day of a business owner looks like, which I think is really, really an important lesson. Listen, they're learning it whether you're serving it up or not, just by looking at you. You are modeling for your children and your spouses, and so I say, bring them all in, right? Have them understand the path to achieving a goal. And by teaching them, I can assure you, you will learn it and feel it, and it will mean more to you also. Any other ahas for today? No?
I do. I just want to say, I love that analogy, the big rock analogy. It's just so important, because I do so much sand.
Yeah. We all do.
Yeah.
Sand. At least you're not doing all water. Right?
Joey, one thing that strikes me about the rocks versus sand analogy is the rocks are something that we generate ourselves. And I think so much of the sand is what other people want, what their needs are, what they ask us to do. And, there are times when it's important and we need to listen, but and messages just coming at us. that are distractions and generated by other people outside of us.
I agree. And think about the enormity, even in that jar, of the amount of sand activity, how overwhelming that would be. That's when I throw up my hands and say, oh, I have no interest in taking that apart, right? The big rocks I could take apart, right? They're more manageable even. But you're talking about all that, you will never make any headway with that. Right? That's a lifetime of activities. The billions of grains of sand in anybody else shares? All right, guys. Well, let's put a pin in it today, and we will we'll set up a time to pick up E to P. All right.
Thank you.
You guys have a great day. Thank you so much. I apologize for the painful start to this. I will make it better next time. I will be better next time. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joey.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you, Joseph. Good to see you, bud.